Like a madman who throws burning embers, arrows, and even death is someone who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. Proverbs 26:18 and 19. Like a madman who throws burning embers, arrows, and even death is someone who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. This week, going to do something really different. I'm just going to think about that one because that really struck me in the forehead this week. So, 4 questions about one proverb. What are some proverbs that particularly grab your attention and why? Well, Proverbs 26, verses 18 and 19. Like a madman who throws burning embers, arrows, and even death is a person who says, oh, is someone who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. The reason that this strikes me so hard is because it is such a big part of Australian culture to tease people and deceive people and then to think that it's funny. I was only joking. You know, a bit of banter, bit of humour. So I'm struck by this one because it reminds me that sometimes our humour goes too far. Sometimes it's really damaging to people. It's like throwing burning embers at people. The questions I have about this one, question 3, what questions, if any, are in your mind about the meaning of this proverb? My question is, how far can you joke and banter and have wit and humour before you get to this point? And I think there's an amount that is allowed. There's an amount that's even fair, and Jesus was a funny guy. The Bible's a funny book. So it's not that you can't have fun. It's not that you can't joke. But the question is, where is the line? And I often find myself coming home from something where I know that I've crossed the line, and I try to learn from those mistakes. I also know that sometimes I come home from having a laugh with my friends, and I think to myself, that was wholesome. We didn't pull anyone down, we didn't tear anyone down, we didn't abuse or make fun of anybody. That was wholesome humor, and those moments are good, even if they are rare. Have you ever lived out the wisdom of the Proverbs? Have you seen others do it and tell the story? There's been stacks of times where I've seen other people do this, where I remember this one moment where you might have heard me tell this story before. I was away in Tassie with a bunch of mates, and we were sitting around the campfire, and we were making fun of one of our mates, and then one of the guys in the group, he just said, stop it. That guy's not even here to defend himself. You shouldn't be making fun of him like that. And it was just like, it just paused the conversation for a good 20 seconds. And it was a little bit awkward because we all knew that we shouldn't have been doing that. We all knew we were doing the wrong thing, and we were just waiting for somebody to call us out, and somebody calls us out. And I remember it to this day. It was probably 4 years ago now. So it's good when somebody does stand up and say, no, we shouldn't be doing that, like the guy who wrote Proverbs says. Anyway, so there's my reflection for this week. Last week of words, watching your mouth. Next week, we're going to talk about food and drink, which is about alcohol as well. Oh, how interesting. See you next week.